Okay, so it's time to play Donkey Kong Land. Let's see. Got the Game Boy. Alright, and I think the batteries are dead. So, Game Boy Advance. That'd be easier to see the screen too. Okay. So, let's get this turned on. Alright, victory. But the screen's awful small, don't you think? I think so. So, that's okay, I have a Super Game Boy. And here we go. The beauty of Super Game Boy. Don't you guys agree? Donkey Kong Land was released on the original Game Boy in 1995 and was a complete success for the console at the time. Because of the success of the main series on the Super Nintendo, Nintendo urged Rare to bring the iconic series to the Game Boy. It seemed like a task that would happen when pigs fly. But they pulled it off, and we got Donkey Kong Land in 1995, just before Donkey Kong Country 2 released. So it's important to understand that this is not just a carbon copy of the Donkey Kong Country game for the Super Nintendo. In fact, this is its own original concept and has its own unique worlds and themes. The game suffers from many drawbacks, obviously limitations of the system at the time. Because the team decided to make the game look as closely to the original series as possible, it suffered heavily from screen crunch. This screen crunch would prove to be a major issue in the game, as you had a hard time seeing things that were far ahead of you. Also, the save feature was kind of bad. The only way that you could actually save the game is to collect all 4 Kong letters and spell out the word Kong, and then finish the stage. Because of this, it made backtracking a pain in the ass. You basically had to go all the way back to an easier level to save the game if you were having trouble collecting all the Kong letters in the current stage that you were on. The hit detection is very weird and wonky. Sometimes you think that you should be hit and you'll bounce off them, and sometimes you think that you jumped and you didn't. Enemies appear off the screen where you can't obviously see them. There are definitely a lot of annoyances with this game. But does this make this a bad game? I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a bad game. I'd say that this is just a rough game. It is a game that is definitely trying its best to live up to the original Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. However, it struggles. There's no way to actually pull off what the original did. And this game really kind of shows that it can't be done on the Game Boy. However, it can be improved and done much better, which is something that the team would definitely prove with the next entry in the series. The music is very generic. The music really didn't come across as anything special. They did their best to try to replicate some of the classics from the original game. However, these did not come across very well on the Game Boy speaker or even in a headset while playing the game. These are some pretty bad drawbacks. The boss fights are suffering once again, just like the main series. The boss fights are not the best in these games, and the Donkey Kong Land boss fights are definitely worse than the ones in the main console games. I still believe that Donkey Kong Country 2 has the best boss fights. However, that is also my favorite game, so I'm a bit biased. Donkey Kong Land suffers, and because of the drawbacks that the game has, I can't really suggest that anyone play this unless you're just that big of a Donkey Kong Country fan. If you enjoy Donkey Kong Country, then you should definitely check this game out. You'll find some enjoyment and think it's pretty neat. And you can beat the game within 2 or 3 hours if you're a seasoned pro at the original games, once you get used to the controls. However, there is a lot of annoyance jumping from platform to platform and having enemies just spawn out of nowhere, and the sound design is pretty horrendous. This is definitely a game in the series that you can pass up. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. If you enjoyed this, be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and come on over to Twitch and follow me. I've been streaming over there, and I could really use the support of my fan base over there. Anyway, I know I've not released a whole lot of videos, guys, but I'm trying to get a little bit better about it and try not to be as much of a perfectionist when it comes to them. Anyway, until next time, guys, stay nerdy.